Welcome back to the channel. A major legal development out of Washington could affect thousands of green card applicants around the world, and it represents a significant setback for the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. A federal judge has blocked a controversial State Department policy that effectively froze certain immigrant visa applications from more than 75 countries. The policy was introduced as part of the administration's expanded public charge approach, which raised concerns about whether some immigrants could become dependent on U.S. government benefits. The freeze affected both family-sponsored immigrant visa applicants and employment-based green card applicants. But now, a federal court has stepped in, ruling that the State Department may have gone beyond the authority granted to it by Congress. Here's what happened and what it could mean for immigrants waiting for their green cards. The ruling came from U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta, the District Court for the District of Columbia. Judge Mehta ruled that the State Department exceeded its legal authority under the Immigration and Nationality Act, commonly known as the INA. The policy was introduced earlier this year under Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Under the policy, immigrant visa processing was placed on hold for applicants from more than 75 countries, including countries such as Nigeria, Colombia, Russia, and Egypt. The administration argued that the measure was needed to prevent immigrants who could potentially rely heavily on U.S. government assistance from receiving permanent residency. But Judge Mehta rejected the idea of applying such a broad, blanket restriction. In his ruling, the judge emphasized that federal immigration law requires consular officers to evaluate visa applications individually and make decisions based on the specific circumstances of each applicant. The court found that a blanket freeze could effectively take that authority away from consular officers by deciding the outcome before an individual case was properly reviewed. Judge Mehta, who was appointed during the Obama administration, issued the ruling on July 31st. So, what brought this dispute into federal court? The lawsuit was filed by a Brazilian national seeking a green card through the EB-5 Immigrant Investor Program. His visa application was placed on hold because of the State Department's broader public charge policy. The applicant argued that the government had unlawfully delayed action on his case and had adopted a policy that conflicted with federal immigration law. Judge Mehta agreed that the case raised a broader legal question. Importantly, the lawsuit was not simply challenging one individual visa decision. It challenged the underlying State Department policy itself. That allowed the court to examine whether the government had the legal authority to impose the blanket pause in the first place. Judge Mehta ultimately blocked the State Department from applying the public charge policy to the plaintiff. The court also directed officials to move forward with processing the visa, subject to the normal consular requirements and background checks. This ruling is significant, but it may not be the end of the story. The decision comes as the Trump administration faces a growing number of legal challenges involving immigration policy. Other lawsuits challenging the State Department's public charge policy are also moving through federal courts, including cases in Washington, D.C., and New York. And green card applicants are facing pressure on several other fronts as well. The Department of Labor is considering new regulations that could increase costs for U.S. employers sponsoring foreign professionals through H-1B visas and employment-based immigration programs. Meanwhile, the Department of Homeland Security has issued separate rules concerning green card applicants who could be considered likely to rely significantly on certain government assistance. Together, these developments are creating a complicated and uncertain immigration environment for foreign workers, families, investors, and employers. The State Department has declined to comment directly on the ongoing litigation. However, the administration has maintained that strong screening and vetting standards remain a priority for visa applicants. For now, the ruling is a major legal setback for the administration's attempt to impose a broad freeze on certain immigrant visa applications. But with additional lawsuits still pending and the possibility of further appeals, the future of these immigration restrictions remains uncertain. The bigger question is whether this decision could eventually affect other applicants caught in similar processing delays. What do you think this ruling means for the massive green card backlog? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for the latest US immigration updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next report.